right, let's see what's going on with the fast news stuff.
Senator John Cornyn says the FBI agreed to help find the Texas Democrats who fled the state in protest of redistricting efforts. Cornyn sent a request earlier this week asking the FBI to help locate the absent Democrats and investigate potential offenses. State Republicans are looking to redraw congressional maps to add 5 new GOP-leaning seats before the midterms. Democrats are denying Republicans the quorum they need to approve them.
Yeah, so basically the Democrats left the state and are fighting, and now the Republicans of Texas, or well, the House, are trying to get those guys back into the House so that they can rule and stuff. But yeah, they got court orders now apparently. Or warrants. ICE arrests El Salvador fugitive with active criminal arrest warrant. Uh-oh. Whoopsies. I thought he was gonna like strip search him, man. It's just like Jesus. Now, what do we got here?
In the ongoing fight against invasive pythons in the Everglades, Florida officials are hopping over to a new method of studying the species using robotic rabbits.
Oh, okay.
The decoys are to lure pythons out of hiding and remove them from the Everglades ecosystem through euthanization. Pythons are an invasive species to Florida, largely brought into the U.S. between 1975 and 2018. Imported pythons were banned from the U.S. in 2012, but the species has overtaken the Everglades, harming food supplies for native predators while making some animals vanish entirely, such as foxes. That's why the South Florida Water Management District is working with the University of Florida to spearhead the effort. Pythons are notoriously difficult to detect and capture, so the team of researchers designed the robotic rabbit to emit an odor to attract the snake. The rabbits are also equipped with cameras to monitor the pythons. Officials are alerted by the monitors once a snake is detected. They then go to the area, capture the snake, and ultimately euthanize it. 40 robotic rabbits are deployed across strategic areas in the Everglades and South Florida. The rabbits are solar-powered and waterproof to withstand the rainy conditions of the Everglades.
Nice.
In addition to this effort, the state also hires snake bounty hunters in hopes of eradicating the slithery invaders. Male snakes that are
basically
caught are
just
fitted
pest
with tracking
control
devices in order to lead hunters to egg-laying females. However, the Geological Survey
qualified,
says despite efforts
people who
to
can
rid the
handle
ecosystem
snakes.
of pythons, they're likely here to stay. The snakes prey on everything from raccoons, possums, birds, and there are even cases of them eating alligators, iguanas, and an adult deer. But native animals may be fighting back, with cases of bobcats, alligators, and cottonmouth snakes killing pythons. For more on this story, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit san.com. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Kaylee Carey.
Court filings cite 400K sexual misconduct reports. Uber defense safety record.
Filings are shedding light on Uber's safety record. Court documents allege the company received a report of sexual assault or misconduct about every 8 minutes over a 5-year period. According to the New York Times, unsealed documents linked to a large lawsuit show incidents between 2017 and 2022 far exceed what Uber disclosed publicly. More than 400,000 safety complaints versus just 12,500 reported in their safety reports. Uber pushes back, saying safety remains at its core. The company emphasizes billions invested in improvements and a 44%
the thing
drop
is,
in serious
with
sexual
Uber,
assault
you're
reports since 2017.
right with these apps,
It
you're
also
using
points out that
people
most of the
who
400,000
enter
reports
right.
were minor, unaudited complaints.
You're
A
getting
small
people who
fraction
are off
involved
the
serious
streets who
incidents.
basically
Uber
don't
also
really have
describes
a
its safety risk
resume in a
assess
sense
dispatch
sometimes,
system,
right?
which matches riders and drivers to reduce potential conflicts, and claims it contributed to a 10% drop in misconduct reports. On the litigation front, Uber stresses its survivor-centered response model. It acts on reports without requiring proof, offers a dedicated hotline and support fund, and waived mandatory arbitration for sexual misconduct claims so survivors can choose court action. The Times also reported court documents show employee messages suggest assaults are likely underreported, typically occurring late at night, involving intoxicated passengers
people,
and drivers with poor ratings or prior complaints. Uber also offers safety features such as GPS tracking, in-app emergency buttons, and optional recording, but many remain voluntary due to costs, legal, and privacy concerns. Uber asserts that data starting from 2023 will show critical sexual assaults at their lowest level in years. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Kaylee Carey. For more on this story, head to san.com or download the Straight Arrow News mobile app today.
There you have it. Hearing begins to close Alligator Alcatraz over environmental concerns. No.
Began today after environmental groups filed suit to stop the use
environmental
of alligator
groups.
Alcatraz.
Did you hear that? You fucking retards. Get the fuck out of here.
Environmental groups filed suit claiming the government violated the National Environmental Policy Act. The act requires federal agencies to assess environmental impacts of proposed acts. But the government argues the state of Florida is behind the facility and not the federal government. Several environmental advocates took the stand today, arguing the facility may have a negative impact on some endangered species in the area, like panthers. This hearing comes amid another lawsuit against the facility. The ACLU has filed suit over conditions in the facility and the treatment of detainees. Straight Arrow News spoke with Anna Weiser, a lawyer at Smith & Yulo law firm in Florida, and she's part of that ACLU lawsuit and has clients inside Alligator Alcatraz. She told us that she'd be happy to have the facility shut down no matter on what grounds.
If that thing is shut down, I don't care on what ground, right? My client gets to come out and at least, no, he's not going to come home right away, but we have a chance to get him home.
The environmental lawsuit hearing will continue into Thursday. For Straight Arrow News,
it's because one of their clients is a fucking
download the Straight Arrow News
is a detainee
app or visit san.com.
who's about to get fucking shit canned, right? Who's about to get deported. Alright, there you have it.
As Texas Republicans work to approve a more favorable congressional map, pressure is growing on other red states to follow suit. The effort is being led by the White House in an attempt to expand the GOP's slim House majority in the 2026 midterm elections. Here's a look at the other states that may try to redraw their congressional maps. First up, Missouri. Governor Mike Kehoe is considering a mid-decade redistricting, although sources told Bloomberg it would take a big push from President Donald Trump to overcome inertia from lawmakers. State Senator O'Loughlin told Bloomberg in a statement, Kehoe wants to be sure Missouri's representation matches Missouri's Christian conservative majority. If the governor calls a special session to address this, we will of course take it up. Republicans already hold 6 out of the state's 8 seats in the House of Representatives. Reports indicate they may try to get one more, making it 7-1. Next, Indiana. The White House is so eager to get a redrawn map in Indiana that Vice President J.D. Vance will meet with Governor Mike Braun in Indianapolis on Thursday while he's in town for an RNC fundraiser. Politico reported that state lawmakers do not want to call a special session as they face a budget crisis in the middle of Governor Braun's first year in office. According to Punchbowl News, Republicans could draw Representative Frank Mervyn out of his district that covers the northwest corner of the state. That would give Republicans 8 out of the 9 seats the Hoosier state has in the House of Representatives. California could also make an attempt to redraw. Punchbowl reported that California lawmakers are trying to counter Texas's new maps by drawing 5 new Democratic seats in the Golden State. If California's Democratic governor and legislature can find a way to legally redraw the map, they would target Congressmen Ken Calvert, Darrell Issa, David Valadao, Doug LaMalfa, and Kevin Kiley. Democrats currently hold 43 of the state's 52 seats in the House of Representatives. It will be far more difficult for California to move forward than Texas because the state has a law that requires maps be redrawn by an independent commission, which the state's citizens voted to create in 2008. Finally, here are 2 outliers, New York and Maryland. Democrats hope they could make gains there if the new Texas map is approved, but it's unlikely those states would succeed. New York Governor Kathy Hochul said due to restrictions, it's unlikely a new map could be approved until 2027. That's, of course, after the 2026 midterms. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore said he's evaluating all options, but Republicans hold only one of the state's 8 House seats, and a judge already blocked an attempt by the state's Democratic-controlled legislature to draw out the lone Republican in 2022. I'm Ray Bogan for Straight Arrow News. For more reporting, download the SAN app.
Yeah, I mean, with California, they're just trying to steal more, right, states, to be honest. I mean, the Democrats already have taken over, right, California in a sense. I mean, yeah, sure, you have those states that or you have those districts that are pushing back, but all in all the politicians that are in power in California, yeah, they're all Democrats and they all suck fucking dick. They destroy everything they touch. Gabbard bypasses CIA, declassifies GOP intel report in 2016 election.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard declassified a House report alleging the Obama administration manipulated intelligence to link Donald Trump's 2016 campaign to Russian election interference. The 46-page document was completed by House Republicans in 2020, but remained in CIA custody until now. It includes references to surveillance programs and CIA human sources. Gabbard released the report with President Trump's backing, bypassing the standard interagency clearance process and overriding objections from within the intelligence community. CIA Director John Ratcliffe supported the release publicly, while former intelligence officials and Senate Democrats warned the move could expose sources and damage U.S. intelligence sharing with allies. The report challenges a 2017 intelligence assessment that concluded Russian President Putin favored Trump over Hillary Clinton. That conclusion was previously endorsed by the CIA, FBI, NSA, and a bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee investigation. Alongside the report, Gabbard's office published whistleblower testimony from a senior intelligence official. The whistleblower claims they were pressured to endorse the 2017 findings, but refused due to concerns about flawed sourcing and political interference. They also allege repeated attempts to raise the issue through internal channels were ignored. Attorney General Pam Bondi has now authorized a grand jury to consider potential charges related to the case. The Justice Department also confirmed ongoing investigations involving former FBI Director James Comey and former CIA Director John Brennan. Independent investigations, including those led by Robert Mueller and the U.S.
Yeah,
Senate,
we talked about
had
this
previously
yesterday, where
reaffirmed
they
that
were
Russia sought to
calling
help
in
Trump
all those
in the
people of the
2016 election.
Obama and Biden
Gabbard
admin.
argues the newly declassified materials point to a coordinated effort to undermine Donald Trump's presidency. For more unbiased updates, download the Straight Arrow News app or go to SAN.com.
Yeah, basically they're compelling them to to testify, or well, to give a testimony or deposition or whatever. Give us the information, bitch.
ICE agents in Baltimore announced the arrest of an illegal immigrant in Maryland, previously convicted of voluntary manslaughter, ordering her to remain in ICE custody and await deportation. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Maxine
Another
Stryker.
Maryland
25's
woman.
Vincent Hill digs into
This
the
is the
arrest
Maryland
and has
woman
more.
now. Not the
Right now, it's
man.
not clear when she actually entered the country, but she was charged with the death of a man in Prince George's County, and now she awaits her deportation to El Salvador.
Tucked away inside the George H. Fallon ICE Detention Center sits 33-year-old Norma Reyes Carbajal, who's awaiting deportation to her home country of El Salvador based on a final order of removal.
Well, this woman needs to be removed from the United States because she's an illegal alien.
Along with being in the country illegally, Reyes Carbajal is convicted of voluntary manslaughter and using a handgun in a violent crime. Spokesperson for the National Police Association,
Manslaughter.
Betsy Smith.
But this
Handgun.
woman, like
An illegal
73%
alien.
of current ICE detainees, has a pretty significant criminal history.
According to court records, Reyes Carbajal was originally charged with first and second degree murder in 2019. Investigators say she was involved in a love triangle with the victim and lured him to a location where her husband then shot and killed him. Smith pointing to this case as another example of someone in the country
She's one of
illegally
those. She's
going
one
on
of
to
those
offend.
women.
This woman has never been legal in this country.
Yeah, no,
And when she was here in
she's gonna get you
2019, she was still an illegal alien. She was involved in the murder of a 20-year-old.
In 2022, 20-year-old Kayla Hamilton was killed by then 17-year-old Walter Martinez.
And in 2023, Rachel Marin was killed by Victor Martinez Hernandez. Both men were in the country illegally from El Salvador.
We have plenty of our own criminals in Maryland and in the United States that we don't
Two
need
Maryland
to
men.
continue to import
And now we have a
them.
Maryland
As
woman.
Reyes
Well, we had a
Carbajal
third
awaits
Maryland man, and that
deportation,
was
Smith
fucking
says
Abrego
arrests
Garcia,
like
right?
these are a step in the right direction for public safety.
We don't need to keep people here who have lawful detainers and deportation orders in this country to potentially offend again or do any kind of harm to our citizens or to be a drain on our criminal justice system.
Meanwhile, her husband, who was the trigger man in that murder in Prince George's County, remains at the Roxbury Correctional Institute. In Baltimore,
Israel
Vincent
take
Hill.
Control of all of Gaza.
Oops.
Fox 45 News.
There you have it. And then what is this? Netanyahu stands firm on his occupying
Will Israel
Gaza.
take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas. And you were in the Gaza Strip today. You met Palestinians who are fighting Hamas because finally they see that they have a future. They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage. That's got to end.
Are you saying today that you will take control of the entire 26-mile Gaza Strip, as it was 20 years ago to this month in 2005?
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life.
So basically, he just wants someone, right? He just wants to build a perimeter first and then allow someone to take control of it.
We start with several big stories out of the White House. First, the world is waking up to sweeping global tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. Trump vows the historic tariffs will transform the U.S. economy. Effective today, more than 60 countries are facing steep levies for goods brought into the
a
U.S.
bunch of
Deals
tariffs
with
on
key
all these
trading
countries.
partners, China and Mexico, are
Or
still
all the
pending.
new tariff
The
deals
president
and
says
stuff.
his policy will bring billions in revenue and foreign investments, but critics say tariff uncertainty has
Yeah, we saw
already
Brazil and they
inflicted
were not
higher
happy.
prices and a weaker jobs
Brazil
market
was
on
like,
the US
Mr.
economy.
President
And for the
Trump,
first time in his second
please
term,
give us a
President
phone
Trump
call.
may soon come face to face with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin says the U.S. and Russia have agreed on a summit between the two leaders as soon as next week. Meanwhile, the White House says the president is open to a summit with the leaders of both Russia and Ukraine. CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro is joining us live right now from the White House. Aaron, thank you for your time today. Let's start with those tariffs we talked about. Trump is counting on these tariffs to boost the U.S. economy, but is the administration concerned at all about the negative impact they've had so far?
Yeah, Mugo, at least not publicly, though they do have their arguments when asked about that. They continue to insist the tariffs have not caused or raised inflation so far. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also repeated the belief that it'll be manufacturers abroad as well as retailers that will absorb the costs of these tariffs and that it will not be passed down to consumers on a large scale. You also saw Bessent claim a projection of $300 billion more in new revenue from these tariffs, up from $77 billion in 2024. And we're also learning a bit more about the caveats within this whole tariff plan. You heard from President Trump yesterday, Bessent today, talk about how companies who make commitments to bring manufacturing inside the United States, especially when it comes to those crucial semiconductor chips for smartphones and laptops, may not be subject to these global tariffs as they take the time to relocate.
So the Kremlin says President Trump will have face-to-face talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The president was asked the question yesterday about the summit with Putin and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Here's what he had to say.
Well, there's a very good prospect that they will. And we haven't determined where, but we had some very good talks with President Putin today. And there's a very good chance that we could be ending the end of that road. That road was long and continues to be long, but there's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon.
So, Aaron, any further details from the White House on a timing of a possible meeting with President Putin?
Yeah, the White House maintains at this moment that no date or location has been set for a meeting, refuting what the Kremlin put out overnight, saying that the bilateral meeting could happen as soon as next week. That does not mean there is not planning, of course, for a potential meeting. As you heard President Trump kind of voice some optimism that a meeting could happen, quote, very soon. But you also heard him say that he could also be a little bit skeptical, saying that he's been led down the path by Putin before that has not panned out. Should this meeting take place, it's the first face-to-face meeting between the presidents of U.S. and Russia since 2021, when President Biden met with President Putin in Geneva. And the news of this potential meeting between Trump and Putin comes after a meeting between Steve Witkoff, the U.S. Special Envoy, and Russian officials in Moscow yesterday, and before tomorrow, where it's expected the U.S. will place large secondary sanctions on Russia, as well as countries that do business with Russia.
Okay, Aaron, I want to pivot to a different
Yeah,
question here about the census, because the
that's
president has ordered changes to the census. And
Trump
we know
did
it could have a major impact on
the
how
sanctions
a
on,
population is actually
or not
counted.
really sanctions,
Can
but
he
added
order those
tariffs
changes,
onto
and
India
what
again,
exactly does he
right?
want to see happen?
25% was
Yeah,
because
the changes
they were
specifically
doing
instructing
trade
the
with
Commerce Department,
Russia.
which does oversee the census. In terms of what he specifically wants, it seems like one of the goals is to introduce a question on citizenship in the census. This is something he pushed for in 2019 that was ultimately unsuccessful. The Supreme Court rejected it, and there wasn't enough time for the Trump administration in his first term to appeal and get that question in before the 2020 census. This time there may be a longer runway. And the other bit about how he wants it to happen now is a potential violation of the Constitution, in part because that says the census must happen every 10 years. And it seems like anything that would change the census now, such as a citizenship question, is unlikely to be finalized before the 2026 midterms. That's why you're seeing a lot of focus from the administration and Republicans on this other process known as redistricting.
Okay. Aaron Navarro at the White House for us today. Thank you so much for your reporting.
All right. There we have it. What's this? More redistricting.
Topping political news today, Texas Democrats are still holding out and now on day 5 out of state, vowing not to return anytime soon, pushing off
Yeah, I think by tomorrow.
Vote.
They said
Governor
if they
Abbott is
don't
now
come back
asking the state
by
Supreme
tomorrow,
Court to
that
step
they're
in today,
gonna.
and he wants a decision on
That's
whether
it.
he can
They're
legally
gonna get
vacate
fucking
Democrats'
sanctioned
seats.
or some
Senator
shit,
John
or
Cornyn
lose their
says the
seats.
FBI has granted his request to investigate and locate
Because they're
the
actively
lawmakers who
trying to
left
do
the
like
state.
basically a government shutdown. And they're literally stopping their operations as a government because they don't like how they lost.
Firefighters' efforts to contain France's biggest wildfire in almost 80 years dragged on into a third day on Thursday, which has so far ravaged over
France got cut up with
37,000
the
acres in
wildfire.
Aude, an area larger than Paris.
Yeah, it's not just the
fire
United
has
States
claimed
that
one
get
life
caught,
in
so-
Saint-Laurent de
that
la
get
Capraise,
caught up
destroyed
in
at
this
least
stuff.
25 homes
Other
and
countries
displaced
too.
residents and tourists. Prime Minister François Bayrou called the situation unprecedented as he visited the area.
It was very important for us to be
Très
there because the
important.
disaster is a disaster of unprecedented scale. It was very important because hundreds, thousands of people feel that their most precious possessions, their homes, their vineyards have been affected.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking vineyards that
Nearly
got fucked up.
2,000 firefighters are battling the blaze, and officials say it is spreading rapidly at just
No,
over 3
my
miles per hour.
wine.
Scientists say the Mediterranean region's hotter, drier summers increase the
No,
risk
my
of
grape.
wildfires.
My grapes,
Nearby Spain
my
is
wine.
enduring a prolonged heat wave with temperatures reaching 43 degrees Celsius, fueling its own wildfires. In Tarifa, a blaze sparked by a caravan fire reignited because of gusty
Holy
winds
shit.
and high temperatures. Campsite owner Diego Rodriguez lost everything.
Campfire?
All of my belongings were burnt. Everything. I only have what I'm wearing. I don't have anything to go on.
In Portugal, over 42,000 hectares have burned this year, with more than half of the damage occurring in the past
that's
2
rough.
weeks. Once fires start, plentiful dry vegetation and strong winds in the region can
Yeah.
cause them to spread rapidly.
And it's like
burn
the
out of
issue
control.
is you can't get
Scientists say
anybody to
climate
go
change
out and
exacerbates this
to
risk by creating
clean up
hotter
some of
and
that stuff.
drier background
It's
conditions.
because they don't have the manpower or infrastructure to do that. There's so much land and right area to cover. You're never gonna fucking get it all cleaned up. Right, it was the same way with California, right? With all the fucking dry shrubs and shit. It just causes forest fires like no other. Or you got people setting fires, and then that causes brush fire, right? Setting brush fires and shit. Let's see what we got here. Neighbors band together.
Now, crime happening across
Mail
the country in
thief, get
Los
that
Angeles, where
bastard.
neighbors have
Kick his
banded
ass.
together
Oh,
to
you got
protect
mail.
their mail, which they say has been
Kick his
stolen
ass.
for weeks now. They confronted the man they say is the thief, and it got really ugly, with one of the residents pulling out pepper spray. Jim Murray has details.
A suspect is taken down by a band of citizens fed up with their mail getting stolen.
What's up, buddy? You like to steal mail?
The suspect,
Hey, so buddy, you like to steal mail? Jesus walked up to him.
wearing a bucket hat and orange shirt,
He's
tries
just like,
to
"Wait,
flee on a
what?"
scooter, but he's pepper sprayed.
You like to steal mail?
You like to steal mail,
These
fucking
neighbors
bitch?
join in, forming a citizens' brigade of crime fighters.
Where are you going?
Leave me alone. An all-out knockdown fight ensues as the suspect tries to get in his car. Listen as one of the neighbors smashes his windshield.
Oh shit.
They also slashed his tires.
Damn.
Residents here in the Studio City neighborhood of Los Angeles say they've been tormented for many months by brazen
Yeah,
mail
they just
thefts.
went
And when they
vigilante
finally caught
justice.
the
There you
alleged
have
thief
it.
red-handed,
That's what happens.
They decided it was time to take action.
And then he whipped up the same scooter with the same duffel bag everything matched.
You knew what the suspect looked like, and you saw him.
Yeah, he actually robbed this apartment complex 4 times in the past 4 days. So he has come every night.
Surveillance cameras sure seem to have caught the suspect in the
So
act.
they've been
He walked into the
monitoring
lobby with a
him.
shopping bag and used a
Oh,
master key.
hey,
to
this is
clean
what
out the
happens
mail.
when you got
left.
pissed off people.
It escalated almost immediately when
Yeah,
I said,
as
"Hey,
soon
do
as
you
you
like
see,
to steal our mail?"
as soon
He
as
then
you see
charged
that,
at me and I
yeah,
pepper sprayed him.
fucking-
So the
yeah,
folks
that's it,
around
yeah.
here are so fed up and they're happy that you're kind of standing up for them?
Not everyone likes to see fighting. I don't like to fight. I just want things to stop. Leave my stuff alone. Stay off my street. You like to steal mail? Huh? Huh? Huh?
The residents hope the video will help catch the
Yeah, get
suspect.
the man. Gotcha, bitch. No, that's funny. Gotcha, bitch. Fucking bastard. Deserved. Fucking deserved. He should suffer more, to be honest. The mace wasn't enough. How it started, how it's going. Jesus. Started, Beyonce, and then what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I noticed that too, right?
What is it, son?
Yeah, you could. Oh man, you could see it, right? You could see it with right, all those, right, all the musicians or all the fashion models and shit. Yeah, I don't know why they do. It's so weird.
What is it, son? I don't know, sir. But it looks like a giant dick.
Yeah. Take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's not a word, Pecker. It looks like someone's private!
Really on that, they say no EBT.
Now on it, no EBT.
The food stamp EBT is over with. I can only buy steak, chicken, vegetables, no snacks, no nothing. I can't get no more chip. You feel me?
Well, duh, you can't even.
You did that shit.
Go get Sydney Sweeney, put her in a tank top, put her in a bar, say she likes football and drinking beer, and I guarantee you it would be an astoundingly effective advertisement for you.
I mean, yeah. Ooh. Someone's upset. As for whoever voted for Trump, the big beautiful bill is restricting my college options and ruining my dream to become a doctor. Wait, what? What the fuck does she mean? What? Fucking Howard Stern. Oh, Jesus. Isn't that Kamala's adopted daughter? Pink power, what? That's fucked up. Green power, yellow power, pink power. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. What's up, guys? Yo. Hey, brother, let's go. DFAS is broke. DNC is broke. USAID got defunded. Planned Parenthood is broke. CNN, ABC. Wait, that was a bunch of news networks. ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, the New York Times, and the Washington Post, right? Are all laying people off. There's Howard Stern. Fuck it. That's fucking Alec Baldwin right there. Another dildo showed up at WNBA game. No age cap. Join ICE now. You heard him. You heard him, fellas. You join ICE right now. Do it for Uncle Sam. Alright, Cincinnati attack victims versus liberal judges. Hello, dude. How's it going? Stream going? How long so far? What do you mean? Today? I just been streaming for a couple hours.
conference that addressed the In a press conference that addressed the beatings in Cincinnati, the police chief said this.
Our officers risk their life daily to remove violent offenders from the streets, only to see them released quickly and sometimes without consequences. This cycle must end.
What do you
Now,
mean?
the
Aren't
woman
you
who
the
was
one
beaten to an
who's-
inch of
what?
her life is echoing that sentiment.
The judges who are just letting people out with a slap. The man who attacked me and might have permanently damaged me forever should never have been on the streets, ever. And the fact that he had just gotten out of jail previously for something he should have been in there for years.
He served 7 years in prison for armed robbery.
Oh yeah,
and was
this guy.
out on
Yeah.
bond
So
for
this
4
is
felony
the
gun
dude
charges
that
when
laid
fight
the
occurred.
final punch on
It's
the lady.
really sad to me
that
because
knocked
I
her the
can't
fuck
even
out.
fathom how many other people who have been attacked by the same type of man over and over and over. I am so sad, and I need to be the voice to help all of the victims that never got their justice.
Senator Bernie Moreno is looking at new legislation to help with this problem.
This was attempted murder of an innocent woman. And that person had a rap sheet a mile long. Nobody
Oh
who
yeah,
has that
I mean
rap
when
sheet
you when
should
you're
be walking
when
the
you're
streets
caught
of
trying to
any
like
Ohio
stomp
City
her out
free.
and then
We're going
punch
to talk
her
to
right
some of our state
off her the
legislators to
foot.
see
Yeah,
if we
that's
can
pretty
put
bad.
something in place that I call, with her permission, calling
So he was
Holly's
the one
Act.
actually
If you,
trying to stomp her-
commit a
stomp
crime
on
and
her
you're
skull, too.
punished for it, you will commit less crimes, and the punishment has to fit the crime. I mean, look, here's the reality. Holly has a death sentence.
Oh
a
yeah,
life
look at
sentence.
that. Oh
This is
yeah,
a life
look
sentence
at
for
all
her.
those people
Every
stomping
single
on
day
her.
for the rest of her life, she's going to have to live through this.
Oh yeah,
and yet the person who
this-
does
this,
it gets
fucking
away with, oh, you know, you're
sucker
a bad
punched
guy
him
and
too, right
you
there.
give us $400, we'll put you in some sort of
Yeah, they start trying to
community
stomp
service
on him.
program. No, that person should suffer just as
Oh,
much
right
as
there, kicked
she's
him.
going to suffer for the rest of her life.
And it just
Our
kicked
judges
both of
can no
those. Yeah,
longer
they just
hide
kept trying to kick him in the head,
their
stomp on him.
cloak, and they have to be held accountable for not upholding law and order.
Holly also gave an update on her condition.
Did you feel like you were going to die that night? I truly felt like that.
I mean,
and
she was
still,
fucking. Did you not see her
I
eyes?
still am just shocked that I didn't.
You got
So,
knocked
and
the
so are
fuck
my
out.
doctors.
I guess nobody
my brain
saw
comes
that.
and goes a little bit. My memory, in my body, they call it the aftershock. The doctors, the first couple of days, it was really just here, and now it has just completely gone into my whole body. Like I'm having a lot of trouble just walking, moving, getting out of bed. The biggest thing
Well, I mean,
that
yeah, you just
I
took
think really
trauma
upsets
to the
me
dome.
is the
A lot.
desensitization of humans, where there's
fucked
a
up.
brutal attack, attempted murder in front of you, and they all think, oh, cool, let me get my phone and record it. I truly hope that in the future there's some sort of bill to where somebody has to be prosecuted or at least fined if they don't call 911 first to save someone's life.
But let's remember, the suspect is actually a really good guy, and you would probably attack somebody if you were, supposedly, called a racial slur too.
He's a wonderful guy. He did his
Yeah,
time as they
he's a
said it, but
wonderful
since
guy,
he did his
even
time,
though
he has
that
changed his life completely.
someone just
Everything
like
they're trying to
almost
point him
lost
out
their
to be a
life.
thug, that is not him.
Yeah, I gotta tell you.
And then you have pictures of them brutally stomping on people,
He
kicking
was, like,
people
you'll
in
be
the
violent
face
if
and
somebody
shit.
spit
It's
on
like,
you as
dude,
well.
what are you talking
You'll be
about?
violent if somebody calls you a racial slur.
The one part of the story that I found
crazy.
Honestly, I'll just use the word despicable, is when Holly was lambasted in the media as a Russian woman who fled to her country. As you can see, she has neither fled nor is a Russian woman somebody who's born and raised here in Ohio.
These Russians.
Oh
was
yeah,
walking down
was
the street,
yeah,
and on the video he said you
yeah,
wanna mess with
yeah,
these
that
Russians,
too. I was wondering.
and he smacked
They were
the
like
first
saying,
guy.
"Is she a?" Yeah, that too. I was all like, "She's like so Russian." Like I was like, "What are you people talking about?" Yeah, this basically. She was all like, "Oh, these are some Russian people." I was like, "What the fuck is
No,
happening?"
but it wasn't like they thugs. My child is in school. He had 5
Yeah, I think
kids.
people are just
He's
making
on the
shit
B
up
honor
now.
roll in school.
Like literally making stories
And
up
he's
just to
not
sound
the
good
thug
on the
that they
fucking
put
right
out.
social
Cincinnati
media and shit.
Councilwoman Victoria Parks
I
appeared to
think it's
blame
getting to the point where it's getting
commenting
real
on a
fucking
Facebook
bad.
Video,
Like
quote,
people just
"They
lying
begged
all
for
the
that
fucking
beatdown.
time
I am
about
grateful
the
for the whole
fucking
story."
I reached out to
right
Parks'
the criminal
office
act
and
they
was told
just
she was on
fucking did.
vacation. She later confirmed to WOWT that she
And
stands
they're
by
trying
the
to
post.
garner some kind of like sympathy points or trying to get like the public to rally around them, but it's like, dude, you did something fucking illegal. What the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. I fucking hate social media nowadays. Everyone's trying to use it to do fucking stupid bullshit. Right? It's so stupid. Anyways, there you have it. That's all the fast news. I will also leave everything in the description as well, so you can take a look at all the sources.